Hey guys, I'm back with another planner therapy video. This time we're going to be talking about setting up a 5 or 7 year gratitude journal. So what I have here is my actual gratitude journal. This is actually not mine. I guess I shouldn't say that. It's the one that I am been filling out on behalf of Sophia. Sophia right now is 4, and we have put together this gratitude journal as a long-term project, and I have loved doing this. It's been so much fun. We're now at the point where we have cycled back around to the prompts again, and so we're just now starting to see what her answers were. I started this project, I believe, in like March or April of 2020, and now it's like July of is it July? It's June of 2021. And so we have started to see some of the same prompts come up again, and we can see her answers from last year and this year. And so that's been really, really fun. One of the benefits of putting together a gratitude journal like this is that you can see your answers across time. I showed you in last week's video how to set it up for 3 years using a classic vertical layout, but what I have here is going to be a teacher layout. And it's a little bit more complicated than the setup from last week. And so this is definitely not something that you should do if you're like feeling like it would be overwhelming to kind of piece together a gratitude journal. This one is a lot more pieced together. Last week's video was pretty much take a planner and use that planner. This video requires a little bit more setup. So let's jump into it. I'm actually not going to be doing anything in this video. I'm actually going to show you like the real planner that we've got. Some pieces of this, just so you know, are not set up. I like put it on the shelf for several months, and so there are parts of it that are not like actually set up the way that I want it to be set up. But it is a long-term project, so it's not something that has to be finished per se. I'm just excited to kind of show you the pieces that are already in here and what they look like. So again, this is a teacher layout. And if you're wanting to be able to do this, the first thing that I will tell you is that I ended up using 2 different planners to put this gratitude journal together. The main reason for that is because in terms of using a teacher layout, you don't have the weekend days there. So you have the Monday through Friday layout, but you don't have Saturday and Sunday. And so you need to make up for those spaces. You can, of course, use it in one way. I'll tell you one option where you can use just a single one, but I ended up using 2 to kind of piece this together. Okay, so that's the first thing. I will also say, just to kind of start off before I flip into this, is that I set this up to be a 7 year gratitude journal. If you're going with like you only have one teacher planner, it's fully intact, it has 12 months in it, but you only have the one planner and you want to try to be able to use just that one planner without purchasing a second one, then you can convert this same idea to a 5 year planner. But I did buy 2, and so I have 7 years worth in here. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let me go ahead and flip through it. Now, again, like I'm a Franken planner, so I have pieces of like all sorts of different stuff. So the covers came from one place, the discs came from a different place, the dividers are from another place, and then the layout themselves are from a different planner. So I say 2 planners, the guts themselves are from 2 planners, but all the other pieces are like from everywhere. So this set of dividers, I love these dividers. I wanted to put them to use in a long-term project like this. And so, because this is meant to be a perpetual thing, I'm going to show you what January looks like. January is not set up, but I have the divider here, and I have done nothing to this back. I've just left it completely blank. One of the things I was thinking about doing was gluing it down like this, but I didn't want to do that just because if I decide to continue this project, I want to be able to have the second set of dividers, the second set of pages, and be able to use the same set of dividers. So I didn't want to glue them down for that reason. So what do we have in here? So basically what we have is like these teacher pages. And again, they're a combination of 2 different teacher planners, but I just pulled out just basically all the January pages. You can see here that they're outdated. I don't even know where these numbers came from, and they're all out of order, right? So that's what it looks like. And I have it set up like that for the entire year, all the way through December. Now I'm going to flip through. I'm going to flip to June just because that's the month that we're in. And again, it's the same setup where like the dividers came from one place, the weekly pages came from a different place. What I talked about in the previous video was writing out the journal prompts on the monthly pages. Again, in this video, I'm showing you my actual setup. One of the things that I didn't want to be able to do was like have the monthly layout, this monthly divider being used for that purpose, because I want to be able to use these dividers again. So what I did instead was include the prompts on the weekly pages themselves. And again, I should glue them down, but I didn't want to do that and like have this divider be attached to the prompts, or like to the weekly pages. So I've left them kind of like floating out in space just in case I want to use these dividers again. But this is what they look like. So what I did do was basically type out the prompts. As you know from the teacher layout, one of the things that you'll see with the teacher layout is that it has that Monday through Friday set up here. What I decided to do, again, I combined two planners into one. What I decided to do was just go ahead and keep the prompts on this side and use year one, year two, year three, 4, 5, 6, 7, and have 7 years worth of answers that Sophia has given us. But again, if you're using just a single teacher planner, you can cover up these Monday through Friday blocks and have year one, year two, year three, year four, year five, and then the prompts running across here. Or if you don't want to have the prompts running across here, just put the dates and then use the monthly layout. As I talked about in the previous video, just write out the prompts themselves here. And then what you'll do is June 1, here's the prompt, and this is June 1, write your answer right here. Okay, so hopefully you can understand that. If that didn't make sense, I would suggest watching the previous video where I set it up. It's the same setup, just using a teacher layout, but it's the same setup in terms of like putting the monthly prompts and like kind of dating, as I did in the classic vertical from last week's video. So, but again, what I did is try to extend the amount of time that I'm using this planner. So I'm doing it for 7 years. And so what I did was put the prompts down the side. And again, this is one of the ways where I'm trying to recycle the dividers and not have the divider be the monthly spread where I'm writing the prompts. So I went ahead and put the prompts here. I did type them, as you can see here. If you want to see how I did this, I can certainly show you in a separate video, but I basically put a box and then typed in the message and then put like a second text box on top with the number. And so you can see here, just dated the numbers. And that's pretty much what I did all the way through for these prompts. One of the things that I did do differently was like June is a month with 30 days. And so for those months, I did use all 5 days. For the other months, I felt like it would be really weird just to have a single day, like 31, be up there. But it's totally up to you whether you think that that would work or not. But what I ended up doing was, I'll show you July, was I ended up using just 4 days. And again, like this should be whited out. I just haven't done it yet. But I'm doing 4 days and running across like just 4 prompts worth of prompts, and this bottom one across the entire week, across the entire month, is empty. So I will basically just decorate it or do something with it. Again, this is a long-term project. It's not finished at all in any way. But let's go back to June. So in June, this is 2020. So you can see here that, again, like I normally just go back and fill it in with stickers or just put icons, or like in 2021, I can go back and just like put a sticker or something like that. But this is what we have for 2020. She has given us these answers. And then here for 2021, when we get to June 21, which is like literally in 2 days, is it 2 days? I can't even count. It's like 3 days, but it's like coming up really soon, right? I'm gonna ask her what motivates you, and Sophia, who's now 4, will be able to give me an answer. And then what we do as a family is just kind of go back and read what she gave as an answer when she was 3, and you know what she said on June 21st, 2020. What motivates you? What she said was a pretend computer, a toy, milk, I mean cake. And I tried to write it verbatim, like, so she said a pretend computer, a toy, milk, I mean cake, like that. So that, like, it sounds like that in my head when I read that. So it's just so cute. I love doing this. And so I'll ask her in a couple of days what motivates her this year, and we'll be able to write down her answer, and then I can read her answer from last year to her. And we've really been enjoying doing that. Again, like we started this like about 15 months ago, and so it's now cycled back around to where we can read some of the prompts. And so that's the setup for us. One of the things that I think might happen is that I might end after 7 years. So she's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. I don't know if she wants to continue doing this when she's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, you know, or it might be something where I set it up for her and she just does it for herself. She can write herself. At some point, she'll hopefully be able to write some of this stuff for herself as well too. But it might be where I change up the layout or do something different, but it has been so much fun to have this bonding moment with her, to be able to talk about like what are some of the things that interest her, what are some different prompts to kind of talk about her day with her. And from a mental health perspective, that's really important to be able to like get children to think outside of just like their daily activities. And so it's been really beneficial for us as a family. And even if you don't do this for a child, certainly it's beneficial for you yourself if you're going to do something like this, to think about year over year, what are some of the things that motivate you, what are some of the things that you need, and so on and so forth. So find a set of journal prompts. I mentioned in the previous video, what I did was just Google 365 daily journal prompts to be able to find a set of prompts, and so that's what I've been using for this gratitude journal here. I just ended up typing them out so that way it looked a little bit neater across the 7 years. But that's pretty much a simple, straightforward setup for how to put together a gratitude journal with prompts where you don't have to think of something to do for yourself, and you can be able to do these things and set it up for yourself or for a family member, and be able to track what they say across time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, there's nothing that I actually wrote out today, but hopefully you can see that I have been using it, at least in some respects. So hopefully being able to talk through what I did for my system is helpful to you and inspiring to you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. And until the next video, bye guys.